thought the worst day of my life would be losing my mother to cancer. I was wrong. The worst day was walking into my own engagement party and finding my fiancé Ryan with his tongue down my younger sister Sophie's throat in the coat room. We were at the Venetian in Chicago, March 12th, 7:30 p.m. I remember because I'd checked my watch obsessively all evening, making sure everything ran on schedule. The champagne fountain, the photo booth, the surprise slideshow I'd spent weeks creating. This was supposed to be perfect. Ryan and I had been together for 6 years. We'd built a wedding planning company together, Bliss Events, started in my studio apartment with a $3,000 loan from my credit card. 3 years later, we were planning 40 weddings a year, featured in Chicago Bride magazine, booked solid through next fall. Sophie was my business partner, not just my little sister, but the person I trusted with vendor contracts, client deposits, everything. I'd given her a job when she dropped out of college, taught her the business from scratch. She handled the finances while I did creative. We were a perfect team, the three of us together, unstoppable. I'd gone to the coat room because Mrs. Patterson, Ryan's grandmother, wanted her shawl. She was cold. Such a simple request. Grab the shawl from coat check, come back, keep smiling for 200 guests who'd driven from 3 states to celebrate us. The coat room was tucked behind the main hall. The door was slightly open. I heard them before I saw them. But before I tell you what happened next, let me tell you something. If you think this story is about a cheating fiancé, you're wrong. This is about what happens when the 3 people you trust most burn your entire life to the ground, and what you build from the ashes. Ryan's hand was under Sophie's dress. Her lipstick was smeared across his collar, the same coral shade I'd helped her pick out at Sephora last week, the same collar I'd ironed this morning. They broke apart when they heard my gasp, but here's the thing that still haunts me. Neither of them looked guilty. Sophie looked annoyed, like I'd interrupted something important. "Jenna," Ryan said, adjusting his tie, not scrangling, not apologizing, just adjusting his tie like we'd bumped into each other at Starbucks. "What the hell is this?" My voice came out steady, too steady, like my brain hadn't caught up to what my eyes were seeing. Sophie rolled her eyes, actually rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic." Dramatic? I just found my fiancé with my sister at our engagement party. "It's not what it looks like," Ryan started. "It's exactly what it looks like," Sophie cut him off. She stepped forward, fixing her hair in the mirror behind me. "Jenna, we need to talk. Not here, but soon. There are things you need to know." "Things I need to know? You're sleeping with my fiancé." "Was," Sophie said flatly, "was your fiancé. And honestly, you should be thanking me." My brain stuttered. "Thanking you?" Ryan put his hand on my shoulder. I jerked away like he'd burned me. "Jenna, listen, Sophie and I have been talking and we think it's better if we're honest now rather than after the wedding." "Honest? How long?" 8 months, Sophie said, no hesitation, like she'd been waiting to say it. 8 months. We'd signed the lease on our new office 8 months ago. I'd made Sophie vice president 8 months ago. We'd booked the Lincolnshire estate for our wedding 8 months ago. "You need to leave," I whispered. "Actually," Sophie crossed her arms, "we need to talk about the business first. Ryan and I have been discussing the future of Bliss Events and—" "Get out," my voice cracked. "Both of you, get out before I scream." They left, together, Ryan's hand on Sophie's lower back as they walked out. And that's when I realized this wasn't just about losing my fiancé. This was something bigger. I stood in that coat room for 10 minutes. Guests were probably wondering where I went, where Ryan went, where Sophie went. Let them wonder. I pulled out my phone, opened our business banking app, something I rarely checked because Sophie handled finances. She was better with numbers, she always said. I trusted her. The account showed $847. We had 40 weddings booked. Each client paid a $5,000 deposit. That's $200,000 sitting in our business account. At least, it should have been. My hands shook as I scrolled through transactions. Transfers. Dozens of them, all to an account I didn't recognize. The last one was 3 days ago. $18,000. I called our bank's emergency line, 15 minutes on hold while wedding guests laughed in the ballroom next door. Finally, a representative answered. I need to know about these transfers from Bliss Events. One moment, ma'am. Keyboard clicking. Those were authorized transfers to your secondary business account, the one opened in January. I didn't open a secondary account. According to our records, Sophie Chen opened it. She's listed as the primary account holder on your LLC. My stomach dropped. That's impossible. We're equal partners. Let me check the paperwork. Oh, I see. The LLC was restructured in November. Sophie Chen now holds 75% ownership. You have 25%. The room spun. That can't be right. I founded this company. I'm sorry, ma'am. This is what our legal documents show. Perhaps you should speak with your business attorney. I hung up, called our attorney, Mark, straight to voicemail. I left a frantic message. Then I walked back into the ballroom. My father saw me first. He was talking to Ryan's parents near the bar. When he spotted me, his face went pale. Jenna, sweetheart, did you know? I asked. He couldn't meet my eyes. That was answer enough. Dad, did you know? Ryan and Sophie were together? It's complicated, he said quietly. It's really not. My mother appeared beside him. She looked tired, defeated. Jenna, maybe we should talk privately. No, tell me now. She glanced around. Guests were starting to notice the tension, starting to whisper. Sophie came to us 2 months ago. She said you were mismanaging the business, that Ryan was trying to help but you wouldn't listen. She showed spreadsheets, financial projections. She said if we didn't intervene, Bliss Events would go bankrupt. She showed you spreadsheets? I repeated. And you believed her? She's your sister. Why would she lie? Why would she sleep with my fiancé? My father flinched. We didn't know about that part. Jenna, please, not here. But I was done protecting their comfort. What did you do? What did Sophie convince you to do? We signed some papers, Dad admitted. Sophie said the business needed restructuring for tax purposes, that you'd already agreed but needed our signatures as co-signers on the original loan. The original $3,000 loan, the one my parents had co-signed 3 years ago when I was starting out, a loan I'd paid back within 6 months. What papers? Transfer of ownership documents, Mom whispered. Sophie said it was routine. She said you were too busy with wedding planning to handle the legal paperwork. I pulled out my phone, showed them the bank account. $847 remaining. Does this look routine to you? My father's face went white. Oh my God. Sophie took everything, restructured the LLC, transferred the money, and you signed the papers that let her do it. We didn't know, Mom said, tears streaming down her face. Jenna, you have to believe us. She said, where is she now? Where's Sophie? They looked at each other, that silent parent communication that always meant bad news. She left 20 minutes ago, Dad said, with Ryan. She said you'd found out and she needed to go handle some business matters before you did something rash. I laughed, actually laughed. The sound was unhinged even to my own ears. Business matters? She stole my company, my fiancé, and my money, and she's worried I'll do something rash? My attorney, Mark, finally called back. I stepped into the hallway, leaving my parents standing there with their guilt. Jenna, I just got your message. What's going on? Did you file LLC restructuring papers in November? Silence. Then, yes, Sophie brought them in, said you were swamped with the Morrison wedding and asked her to handle it. She had your signature on the authorization form. I never signed anything. She had a notarized document. She forged it. More silence. Jenna, if that's true, we need to call the police. This is fraud. But you need to understand, proving forgery takes time, months, maybe years. And in the meantime, legally, she owns 75% of Bliss Events. I canceled the engagement party, told 200 guests there was a family emergency. Half of them were our clients. By Monday morning, my phone exploded. Jenna, we heard about Bliss Events closing. What about our July wedding? Sophie called and said our deposit is non-refundable, but the company is dissolving? Is it true you're being investigated for fraud? That last one made me physically sick. Sophie was ahead of me, way ahead. I drove to our office Monday morning. The locks were changed. A note taped to the door. Bliss Events is under new management. All inquiries contact Sophie Chen. My key didn't work, my own company, and I couldn't get in. I called the police, filed a fraud report. The detective was sympathetic but realistic. Ma'am, with your parents' signatures on those ownership documents, this becomes a civil matter. You'll need to sue. That takes time and money. How much money? For a case like this, $50,000 minimum, maybe more. I had $8,000 in my personal account. Everything else was tied up in the business Sophie now controlled. My lawyer called that afternoon. Jenna, I have bad news. Sophie filed a restraining order against you, claims you threatened her at the engagement party. I know, but she has witnesses. Ryan, your sister's friend Amanda, they all signed affidavits saying you became violent and threatened Sophie's safety. This is insane. It gets worse. She's filed a lawsuit against you for defamation and attempting to sabotage the business. She's claiming you were embezzling and she discovered it, which is why she had to take control. I sat down on my apartment floor, the same floor where I'd sketched the first logo for Bliss Events, where Ryan and I had celebrated our first paid client, where Sophie had slept on my couch for 3 months when she needed a place to stay. What do I do? I whispered. Honestly, leave Chicago. This case will take years. Your reputation in the wedding industry here is destroyed. Sophie's been telling everyone you're unstable, that the business was failing because of your mismanagement. Half your clients already believe her. Leave Chicago? Just give up? No, survive. Then come back when you're strong enough to fight. I left Chicago with $8,000 and a Honda Accord full of everything I couldn't sell. My best friend Tara hugged me in the parking lot of my old apartment building. "Where are you even going?" she asked. Nashville. I'd picked it randomly. Far enough from Chicago, big enough for opportunity, and I'd never been there with Ryan, never planned a wedding there. No ghosts. You don't know anyone in Nashville. Exactly. The drive took 9 hours. I cried for the first 3, then went numb. By the time I crossed the Tennessee state line, I felt nothing. Maybe that was better. I found a studio apartment in East Nashville, $750 a month. The ceiling leaked. The neighbor's dog barked at 5 a.m. every morning, but it was mine, only mine. My $8,000 wouldn't last long, so I worked. Got a night shift at a hotel front desk, $13 an hour plus tips. Days I applied for jobs. Every wedding planner in Nashville rejected me. Sophie had been thorough. She'd contacted every major venue, every industry group, telling them I was under investigation for embezzlement. My name was poison. So I pivoted, started applying to corporate event companies, marketing firms, anything that used my skills but wasn't weddings. 3 months of rejections. My savings dwindled to $1,200. Then I got a callback. A small marketing agency needed someone for event activations, product launches, brand experiences, corporate retreats. The pay was terrible, $35,000 a year, but it was something. My boss was a woman named Carmen, 50-something, sharp as glass, built her agency from nothing. She looked at my resume during the interview. "You ran a wedding company?" "Yes." "Why'd you leave?" I'd prepared for this. Partnership dissolved. I wanted a fresh start. Carmen studied me. "I Googled you, saw some interesting things. A lawsuit, embezzlement allegations." My heart sank. Those are false. My former partner stole your company, Carmen finished. I've been in business 30 years. I know what theft looks like, and I know what survival looks like. You're hired. Carmen became more than a boss. She became a mentor. Taught me that events weren't just about pretty flowers and color schemes. They were about strategy, psychology, making people feel something. Weddings sell emotion, she told me. Corporate events sell results. Learn to speak that language. I learned fast. Within 6 months, I was leading client accounts. Within a year, Carmen made me director of experiential marketing. My salary jumped to $65,000, then $85,000. I could finally breathe. I also met Daniel. He was a photographer Carmen hired for a product launch. Quiet, observant, nothing like Ryan's loud confidence. We got coffee after that event, then dinner, then he kissed me in the parking lot of a Thai restaurant, and I realized I could feel something again. You don't talk about your past, Daniel said one night. We were 2 years in by then, living together in an actual house with a yard. There's not much to say. There's everything to say, but I'll wait until you're ready. I wasn't ready. Maybe I'd never be ready, but Daniel stayed anyway. By year 4 in Nashville, Carmen offered me partnership, 25% of the agency. I'd rebuilt everything Sophie destroyed, different industry, different city, but mine. Then Carmen got the invitation, the National Event Planners Conference, Chicago. They want our agency to keynote about corporate event innovation. My stomach dropped. Chicago? I know, if you don't want to go. No, I surprised myself. I'll go. I'm ready. I wasn't ready, but I was tired of running. The conference was at the Hilton downtown, 3,000 event planners from across the country. Carmen and I were speaking on the main stage, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I saw Sophie's name on the attendee list Friday night. My hands shook holding my phone. She was listed as CEO of Bliss Events, still using the name I created, still pretending she built it. Want me to have her removed? Carmen asked. She'd seen the list too. No, let her come. Let her see what I became without her. I saw them before they saw me. Saturday morning, I was backstage reviewing notes when Carmen pointed to the audience filling in. That her? Sophie walked down the aisle in a dress that used to be designer, but now looked worn. She'd lost weight. Not healthy weight. Stress weight. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and she gripped a coffee cup like it was keeping her alive. Ryan walked beside her. He'd aged 10 years in 4. Receding hairline, cheap suit, shoulders hunched like he was carrying something heavy. That's them, I said. They took seats in the middle section, not front row where successful planners sat. Middle, anonymous. Carmen squeezed my hand. You ready to show them what they lost? I walked on stage to applause. 3,000 people. The lights were hot. My hands didn't shake. Good morning. I'm Jenna Matthews, Director of Experiential Strategy at Elevate Agency. 4 years ago, I moved to Nashville with $8,000 and a ruined reputation. Today, I run campaigns for Fortune 500 companies, and I'm here to tell you that failure isn't the end, it's data. I saw Sophie's face go white, completely, utterly white. She grabbed Ryan's arm. My presentation went perfectly. Case studies, ROI metrics, standing ovation at the end. Carmen beamed from the wings, but Sophie didn't leave. She waited by the stage stairs as attendees swarmed me with business cards. Ryan tried to pull her away. She shook him off. When the crowd finally thinned, she approached. Jenna, her voice cracked. Can we talk? I looked at her, really looked. The Sophie I remembered was polished, confident, cruel. This Sophie looked broken. I don't think we have anything to discuss. Please, 5 minutes. I need to... She stopped. Started again. Bliss Events is drowning. We lost 20 clients last year. The lawsuit you filed, it's destroying us. Legal fees, reputation damage. We're filing bankruptcy next month." "Good," I said simply. Her eyes filled with tears. "Jenna, I know I ruined everything. I know what I did was unforgivable, but we're family. Mom and Dad, they're devastated. They haven't spoken to me in 2 years. They paid back every penny we took from you, sold their house to do it." That stopped me. "What? Mom and Dad sold their house?" I repeated. Sophie nodded. 2 years ago, they hired a forensic accountant, proved I forged your signature. They paid you back every dollar I stole, $180,000. Your attorney never told you? My attorney, Mark, the one who stopped returning my calls after I left Chicago. No, he never mentioned it. The money's been sitting in an escrow account, waiting for you to claim it. Sophie's voice was hollow. They tried calling you, writing. You blocked them. I had. Changed my number, returned letters unopened. I was done with everyone in Chicago. They chose you, I said. At the engagement party, they believed your lies. For 2 weeks. Then they saw the real financial records, saw what I'd done. Dad had a heart attack from the stress. Did you know that? He's okay now, but... She stopped. They disowned me, Jenna. Their own daughter, because of what I did to you. Ryan stood a few feet away, looking at his shoes. I addressed him for the first time. And you? How's the happily ever after working out? He flinched. We're not together anymore. Haven't been for 2 years. Turns out, Sophie said bitterly, Ryan only wanted me because I had your company. When the business started failing, when clients sued us for breach of contract, when we couldn't afford the office rent, he left, moved back to his parents' house in Ohio. I came back to help with the bankruptcy, trying to do the right thing. I almost laughed. The right thing. 4 years too late. Jenna, please. Sophie was crying now. Real tears, not manipulative ones. I destroyed everything. My relationship with you, with Mom and Dad, the business, my entire life. I was 26 and stupid and thought I deserved what you had. I was wrong about everything. Carmen appeared at my elbow. Jenna, the Forbes reporter is here for your interview. Forbes. They were writing a profile on women rebuilding after career disasters. I looked at Sophie, at Ryan, at the ruins of what they'd built on my stolen foundation. I'm not going to drop the lawsuit, I said quietly. You committed fraud. You forged documents. You deserve the consequences. I know, Sophie whispered. But I'll contact Mom and Dad. Not for you, for them. They tried to make it right. Sophie's face crumpled. Thank you. Don't thank me. We're not family anymore. We're just 2 people who used to know each other. I walked away. Carmen followed me to the Forbes interview. The reporter asked about overcoming betrayal, about rebuilding from nothing. The thing about rock bottom, I told her, is that it's solid. You can build on it, and what you build is yours. Nobody can take it away because you know exactly what it cost. That night, Daniel flew in to surprise me. We had dinner at a rooftop restaurant overlooking Chicago. The city where I'd lost everything looked different now, smaller, less powerful. You okay? Daniel asked. Yeah, actually, I am. I called my parents the next day. My mom answered on the first ring, like she'd been waiting 4 years for this call. Jenna? Her voice broke. Baby, is that really you? It's me, Mom. We talked for 2 hours. She cried, I cried. Dad got on the phone and apologized until I had to tell him to stop. They wanted to visit Nashville, meet Daniel, see my life. I'd like that, I said, and I meant it. 6 months later, Carmen made me equal partner, 50-50. My name went on the building. Elevate Agency, co-founded by Carmen Rodriguez and Jenna Matthews. I never spoke to Sophie again. Last I heard, she moved to Wisconsin, works retail. Ryan moved back to Ohio, works for his uncle's plumbing company. I don't feel triumph. I don't feel revenge. I just feel free. Because the best response to betrayal isn't getting even, it's getting better. And I got so much better.